Hey guys, Dr. Patel here, and I'm going to compare the microprocessor and the geological evolutions of India. We will start this comparison by interviewing my friend here, Mr. Microprocessor, to tell us about the history of microprocessors and changes that has occurred through our history. Hello, Mr. Microprocessor. I'm going to ask you a few questions now. Is that okay? Good. Okay, so I have a list, a giant list of all the changes throughout your history and what you've done. So, what was the first microprocessor you ever were? That's correct. I like you. What was the second? The 8008. Good job. Okay. So, the first microprocessor was the 4004 in 1971. The second was the 8008 in 1972. And then the 8080 was the third in 1974. Mr. Microprocessor, what was the fourth microprocessor you ever were? The 8085 in 1976. What about the fifth one? 8086 in 1978. Good job. What about the sixth one? You don't remember? Think. Good job. The 8088 in 1979. Now we get to the big boys, where the big names come in, like the Intel Pentium processor with MMX technology. There are hundreds and thousands of them with that name. What was your favorite microprocessor if you ever were? Let me find that. Read a little bit about it. Your favorite was the Intel Pentium M processor. Is that right? Good boy. There are so many microprocessors. I think that's more than 8 changes. Now, since we know a little about microprocessor, let's learn a little bit about India and its geological evolution. And to do so, we're going to have to teleport through time and through land areas, because India is in Asia and we're in America. So, I'm going to teleport now. Whoa! I'm in India now. I like India. What year is this? It seems like we are now 900 million years in the past. Let's learn a little bit about this. Hey guys, I found a rock here. And I'm going to interview this rock to find out a little bit about India. So, Mr. Rock, what's your name? Steve? Why, hello there, Steve. I'm going to ask you a few questions just to see if my theory about India is true. Alright. So right now we're about 900 million years ago, right? Alright. And about 900 million years ago was the supercontinent Rodinia, right? Alright. Well, Rodinia was a supercontinent, and it was about 1.1 billion years ago, and it finally broke up about 700 million years ago. And India was in the northern area of Rodinia. So, later, about 225 million years ago, Pangea appeared. Well, not really appeared, but came to place. So, later, as Mr. Steve here said, Pangea broke off into 2 smaller super minor continents, one of them being Gondwana land. And that is where India went, or floated, moved. And after that, the Triassic period, Triassic period, was when India started moving up into Asia, and then after that, the Jurassic, it moved more then the Cretaceous more, and now it's finally in Asia, which is now being pushed into Asia, making the Himalayan mountains and Mount Everest. That is now 8 changes. Woo! Now, since we have looked at both the microprocessor and India, we are now going to have to go back to my thinking chair and think about the comparison and how they are similar. It's time to teleport. Well, goody, back to my thinking chair. Now let's think about the similarities of these two evolutions. And to think, I must eat. It's time to think. I've decided after my seconds of thinking that I'm going to first talk about my predictions of what will happen in the future for my evolutions. Alright, so the microprocessor. I think that there will be more microprocessors, and the size are going to become smaller, but the memory and how fast it is gets bigger. And they're going to be used in more items like calculators, even though they already are. Different types of microwaves and blenders, coffee makers. And India, well, we already know it's moving up, so I think it's going to keep moving up until one day it disappears. But that's going to be in a few million years, so, I'm good. My grandparents. So now it's time to think again. Okay. So, I thought of one. India is moving up and becoming smaller, kind of like the microprocessor, which is getting smaller because society wants it to get smaller, which is why it's an artificial evolution, because society wants it that way. So they both become smaller. Oh, also, there are billions of people in India, and there are billions of people using the microprocessor. That's good. I think that's about it. India and microprocessor are not meant to be for each other. They don't have enough in common. Okay, I guess that's it for our little experiment comparison of microprocessor and the geological evolution of NDR. Thanks.